Hi everyone, we're in clinic today and we wanted to quickly share just a few of the different threads that VSoft has to offer. So laid out on my tray here, I have a few of the different VSoft PDO smooth threads, and I wanted just to kind of take you through just some of the major differences and also some of the areas that I like to use these for especially. So we'll go ahead and just get into that. Okay, so here we have just 3 of the PDO smooth threads that VSoft has to offer, and I wanted to kind of just go through a few of their differences and also just areas that I like to treat most with the different options, just because we like to have like different tools in our toolbox when we're treating an aesthetic, so it's nice to have a variety to pick from. So starting off first, this is one of the most commonly used threads. Let me see if I can get it to focus here. This is a 29 gauge thread and it's 40 millimeters. You can kind of see that thread hanging off right there. And as you can see, it's almost as thin as a hair. So very, very thin. And we're placing these to stimulate collagen. So these are going to be a very versatile thread to choose from in any area that you're looking for collagen stimulation, whether that be in the glabella region for 11 lines, submental, underneath that chin, acne scarring. This is very versatile. The length is also very versatile as well. One thing I do like to point out is you want to measure before placing where you want the majority of that thread to be laying. So for example, if we're treating an acne scar and our acne scar is up here, we shouldn't be inserting our thread way back here because we're not going to be able to lay that where we want our collagen. So there's a lot of videos on VSoft's social media, YouTube, things like that, kind of showcasing that. But this is going to be your most versatile option. Moving on, this is a smooth mini. So this is going to be really hard to show. It is so teeny tiny, but these are fantastic for vermilion borders or cupid bows for lips. So maybe someone who just doesn't have a very defined vermilion border, this would be a great option. Maybe your patient who is getting frequent filler treatments and we're just looking for some collagen stimulation to prevent migration. A lot of different indications for that. These can also be used for small spots. There's a nurse in our office, she has a little chicken pox scar, so we've been using these minis to kind of just isolate and lay these on top of each other in that area. So that's a smooth mini. And then moving on, this is a 29 by 40 twisted. So to kind of put these next to each other, you can see how the twisted is wrapped around the needle. So your needle here is just a mode of, getting the thread to where you want it. And that twisted thread around is going to stimulate more collagen. So when we're looking at collagen stimulation, we're looking at causing soft tissue damage, soft tissue swelling. And this twisted thread around this needle is going to just cause a little bit more damage to that tissue, therefore adding some extra collagen stimulation. So these are great for really deep glabella lines, like 11 lines, great for the submental area. These are my go-to for the submental region. Also a great option for deep necklace lines. So anywhere where you're looking for a lot of collagen stimulation, where you're looking for volume, this is going to be a great option for that. But this is just a few of the options, and like I said, just as a provider, it's nice to have a lot of different options for your variety of patients that you're seeing. So those are just some of the main ways that I like to use these. Okay, so we wanted to briefly share just what these threads look like off the needle. So when we're placing these PDO smooth threads, the needle itself is just a delivery device to get that thread to where you want it in the tissue. So I'm just gonna go ahead and show you what it looks like off the needle. So this is a 29 gauge by 40 millimeter thread. When you're placing these, you just want to make sure that you are all the way past the end of this thread right here. So this entire needle does not have to go in. Like I said, it's just a way to deliver that thread to where you want it in the tissue. But as long as that thread is completely covered by tissue, you're good to go ahead and pull that out. And this little marshmallow, I like to call it, or pledge it, is just to kind of help guide that thread in. So if you were placing it in tissue, it's kind of just going like this, holding that thread in place until you're fully engaged. But this is how tiny that thread is. So that's 40 millimeters, and as you can see, it's folded over itself. So if we were placing it In an acne scar, for example, it's going to be laying in that area just like so. Very tiny. Moving on, this is a mini, and you can barely even see it on the needle. If we remove that pledget down, you would see that we would then be engaged. Try not to poke myself. This would be great, like I had mentioned earlier, for that vermilion border, cupid's bows in the lips, acne scarring, very, very small areas where you are trying to focus collagen stimulation. And then a twisted, this is a 40 millimeter as well. Remove that pledget out of the way. You can just kind of see how it is compared to that smooth. This one is just coiled, and it's going to cause that soft tissue swelling and just really help in those areas that are hard to target, like the submental area, really deep wrinkles, things like that. We're going to reach for these twisted.